Good morning, my loves. Happy Monday. A beautiful Monday here at the lake. It is in the 70s today. The rest of the week is going to be back in the normal 70s for us, which is wonderful. I hope you're not freezing wherever you are. Quite a morning. Quite a morning. I got a DM from someone with a question, which I welcome that. And they wanted the answer on video. And I read the question and I started to do the video and I stopped and I sent them a DM and we kind of text back a couple of times and then they ended up phoning me. It was that important a topic. The topic is, are you the parent your child deserves? Yeah, it's a big topic. So I want you to listen to this maybe twice. And please, please share it. Share it with your family members, your parents, your siblings, people in your household that may have gone through the same thing that you went through. So this lovely individual that reached out to me said that her mom had reached out to her. Her mom is terminal in her mid to late 70s. Her mom has been in therapy since she got the diagnosis, which I see a lot of folks that are dealing with terminal illness, chronic pain. I see them individually. I see them as families. We all need a safe space. And when you're dealing with something that huge, you need that safe space. There's so many emotions and thoughts and feelings, and you need a safe space to express that. You really do. So don't hesitate getting into therapy or finding a safe space. A therapist, a life coach, a psychologist, clergy, whatever. But somebody that knows what they're doing who can help you and guide you through this. Okay? So this lovely individual reached out, said her mom had reached out to her, had called, and said she wanted to talk to him. Okay, fine, what's up? And their relationship had been very strained. I mean, it had been a little bit better since, her mom is dying, but it's still, it's still there. And she said her mom said, "I'm sorry I was never the parent that you deserved. I'm sorry." She said she didn't know what to do with that. She never in a million years thought she would hear those words out of that woman's mouth. She said she was mean and narcissistic and abusive. I said, "What was your childhood like?" There was physical, mental, emotional, verbal abuse, financial abuse. It was horrible. She would go into the parent would go into a rage and just storm out and be gone for a day or two, leaving little kids at home to fend for themselves. Lots of alcohol. She said it was horrible. And when she left for college, she didn't turn back. She washed her hands of the whole situation for many years. Very common. And she said to have this woman apologize, sincerely apologize, and recognize and accept accountability for her behaviors was huge. And she said, now I have so many emotions, I don't know what to do with them. So I didn't know what else to do but to reach out to you. I'm glad she did. And I'm glad to help. Absolutely, I am glad to help. We talked for a long time on the phone. And I asked her, what are your relationships like now? Because if you're raised in a toxic environment, one of three things will happen. Either you're going to carry those toxic traits forward. You may become the abuser. You may become a permanent victim, always playing the victim card. Or you may say, hey, not going to happen in my world. I'm breaking the cycle. No. And she said in her life now, it's a little bit of everything, because when she left for college, she walked out of that. She walked away. So she broke the cycle. Some of the cycles. She did have a temper. She did have an alcohol problem at one point. And she said, it wasn't fair to her family, to her kids, the way she behaved. And her kids are in college now. And she sees some of the same things repeating. And she said, I just didn't have the tools. I didn't know what to do. And she just never thought to get help. I mean, she knew help was available, but it just never dawned on her to seek help, to get parenting classes when they were young, or to go see a therapist or talk to somebody. It never dawned on her. She said she did not feel she had an alcohol problem, but when she would get upset, she would get depressed, she would drink. Okay. Similar to her childhood. She could be very verbally abusive. And yes, she did play the victim card all the time. She said that was her get out of jail free card, was to play the victim. I said, so this isn't surprising. It's normal. It's perfectly normal. That made her feel a little bit better. And we talked for a long time. And I said, so you didn't have the tools. Your parents never gave you the tools to deal with life because they never had the tools to deal with life. And we talked for just a little bit about her grandparents, who were worse than her mother ever thought of being. So her mom never had the tools. Nobody had the tools to pass forward. They were just floundering, doing the best they could in a really bad situation and making it worse. And she was crying. And she said, yeah, her kids deserved better. She deserved better. Her siblings deserved better. And she felt such relief that her parent took accountability and apologized. She said that was huge. She never in a million years thought she would ever hear those words. And she said she is definitely going to have a conversation with her kids and say the same thing. Because her kids deserve better. And they're young enough now. There's still plenty of time to make the changes and to heal. And she's going to go see her mom, have some heavy conversations. She'll get back to me. But at least they're starting to heal. And as I told her, each and every one of us are accountable for our actions, inactions, attitudes, behaviors, and the consequences. Those consequences may be healing. Those consequences may be saying, screw you, storming out when you're 18 and never looking back. Everybody's accountable. And now it's time to heal. Look at your life. Were you the parent your child deserved? Are you trying to be the grandparent, the perfect grandparent to make up for that? I see that quite often. They're, a super grandparent, but they treated their kids like dirt. You see all kinds of things. But the good thing about this, people are starting to heal. She said that she was going to call her kids today, FaceTime them, and tell them they deserve better. They did. She sees that. She knows that. She's always known that. And she's going to find a way to make it happen. She's going to heal. She's going to encourage them to see somebody wherever they live so they can start healing as well. But the first step is taking accountability and then apologizing. Going to that person and saying, you deserve better, and I'm sorry that I wasn't there. That they were too damaged to be a good parent. That's big. That is really, really big. I am very proud of her mom for having the courage to make that call and tell her. I'm very proud of her mom for going into therapy. That's huge. I am so proud of her for doing that. Her oncologist suggested it. Kudos to the oncologist. Good job. And I'm very proud of the person that called me. It wasn't easy for her. I mean, calling a stranger is easier than talking to somebody you know sometimes. But she is accepting the apology with open arms. And she's going to, start healing on her own healing journey. And I told her, when you go talk to your mom, there's going to be a lot of emotions, good, bad, indifferent, all kinds of stuff is going to bubble up. It's okay to feel whatever you feel, but watch what you say, Don't spew venom. Everybody's trying to heal. You may need to bring in a third party to keep things calm. But just recognize the courage it took for her to say she wasn't the parent that you deserved. That is big. That is so big. So please share this video, watch it a couple of times and share it. And ask yourself, are you the parent your kids deserve? Do you need to do some healing? Good topic, huh? I'll keep you posted.